Strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Welcome to the Better Hair, Better You show with Dr. Sierra, where the Robotic Hair Institute in Fort Lauderdale, Florida is a premier robotic hair restoration clinic. Dr. Sierra treats men and women of all ages who long to return to the days when they had copious amounts of hair. From implants to toupees to various chemical applications, men and women are eager to embrace a variety of treatments that promise to restore hair to its youthful volume and abundance. This show will discuss the latest procedures and technology for hair restoration. We specialize in providing the latest no-scar, robotic view hair restoration surgery. And thanks to advances in medical science and technology, we also offer non-surgical procedures and medical protocols combined with proprietary topical compounds to help augment and solidify results. Get ready to call in at 888-565-1470 and join the conversation of this amazing procedure. Let's start improving our lives.
Hello, happy Monday, and welcome back from our holiday break. I hope you enjoyed your Thanksgiving. You are tuning in to Better Hair, Better You, and I'm your host for today, Alana Shearer. We are joined alongside Dr. Rafael Sierra, owner of Sierra Robotic Hair Institute, located in the Fort Lauderdale area. Whether you are tuning in from 95.3, 96.9, 1470, or catching our live stream, we appreciate you tuning in. As always, during our show, if you'd like to call in with any questions or would like to speak with Dr. Sierra and I, the call-in number is 888-565-1470. Again, that's 888-565-1470. So, hello, Dr. Sierra. Happy Thanksgiving weekend. And actually, Cyber Monday is today, too. I don't know if you got your shopping on today.
Yet. I'm late already,
I have
to start.
We have a couple hours left to get that last-minute shopping in. But while you are on your shopping to-do list, whether it's in person or online, the best kind of gift you can possibly receive is the gift of a new hairdo, if I can say so myself.
I think that's a great gift.
I think so too. Now, if you are tuning in for the very first time today, let's explain a little bit about what Dr. Rafael Sierra does. He owns his place over in Fort Lauderdale area, like I said.
That's right.
And tell me a little bit more about what you do in your facility. What do you specialize in?
So at the Institute, we specialize in hair transplantation, hair restoration, specifically FUE, which stands for follicular unit extraction. Basically, what we do is we remove each one of the hair follicles that we're transplanting from the donor area, which is the back of the head and a little bit of the side of the head, and then we move them to the area that we're trying to treat to regain density in the hair. And we also try to approach this also in a prevention, but mostly trying to basically help people to achieve whatever goal they have in their look, and try to help them regain confidence and help them with self-esteem. And
I was going to say, it's within the show's name, Better Hair, Better You. You truly create better versions of how people feel about themselves when they look in the mirror, definitely more confident. And what better way to feel that way walking into the new year, 2022, than with a brand new outlook for yourself, right?
Yes, I agree.
So from the last couple of weeks, I've had several questions come in from watching our shows. So I would like to start today hitting it right off the bat with some call-in questions that we had received. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
So our first one that I have is from Robert, and he lives in New York City. Now, he mentioned from a previous show a discussion about a $500 stipend. So he would like to know if this is still in effect, if you could speak a little bit more, and how it could possibly be applied if he flew down from out of the area.
Sure. Yeah, it is still offered. And what we do is we give a $500 stipend or a bonus, whatever you want to call it, for people that travel. We help them with travel expenses, basically, whether it's a hotel room or whatever they want to use it for. What we do is once they come over, they can we can give them either a check or do a transfer, whatever, or just do it a discount from the final price of the treatment that they're coming to get.
So it helps ease the cause and the worry about traveling in for such a procedure.
Right.
And I know we've discussed previously, but remind me again, the turnaround time for recovery for someone who would be traveling in for this. I could not believe the first time you told me how many days for healing and recovering from this type of surgery.
Right. It's very quick. We usually tell people, they do need to stay overnight because remember, it's a long procedure. We usually spend the whole day in our clinic, and the next day we just want to make sure that there's no bleeding, that there is not a lot of pain. Usually there's not a lot of pain, and people can usually travel by the end of the next day or the day after that at the most. But some people come from out of town, and then they just spend the night of the procedure in town, and then next day they're off to their homes.
And now if someone like Robert from New York would like to go ahead and proceed with this type of procedure and to discuss the stipend and how this process works, can he just give a call to your facility? Can he find you on your website? What's the best way to go about a consultation?
Either way, they can call my office. The phone number is 954-776-0830, or you can log into our website. We have a little button there that you just enter your information. The website is www.sierrarobotic.com.
Perfect. And now, for someone who may need a lot done to their head, we're not just missing a little bit of hair, but it might be more of an extensive type of procedure. You've mentioned before sometimes that could be broken up into separate treatments, maybe one or two.
That's correct.
On different occasions?
Yes.
Is there a time in between? Can this be the day after, or do you recommend some time in between?
I recommend that we take some time in between because remember that once we do the transplant, it takes about 9 months to a year until we can see the final result. And I've had patients that after we do the first one, they decide that they're okay with that look, and they don't want to proceed with the other area that we were planning to address. But I do recommend that once we do the first procedure, if we're going to split it in two, usually if we need more than 2,700 grafts, then I do recommend that we do it in two separate opportunities, and then but wait at least 6 to 9 months between the first one and the second one.
And I also have some more questions that we've gathered from before, one of which is, how can I care for my hair transplant during the different procedures one must go through? So I guess what is the upkeep like after receiving a procedure like this?
Well, just the same way you treat your normal hair. Remember, this is your hair. This is nothing different. There's no special treatment that you're going to have to do for that area. You want to treat your hair nicely in general. Try to use less chemicals, as little as possible.
So easy on the bleaching.
Exactly. But nothing special.
Now, I have someone from the Orlando area who happened to say that his biggest fear is that his baldness has gone too far. He says he has some hair around the rim of his scalp, but he is completely bald on the top of his head. Do you think he has a chance?
It's hard to tell without looking at him, but there is a point of no return. So that's one of the reasons why I try to tell people, if you notice that you're having some hair loss and you think that you're losing hair, there's no better time than now to do something about it. You might not be even at the point that you need a transplant, and we can do something about preventing further loss. And if you do need a transplant, it's not the same thing having a 1,000 graft transplant than a 2,000 graft.
So don't wait. Act now so that you're not too sorry. And Jack from Orlando, you might just have to send some photos over this way so that you can get a proper consultation to maybe see if anyone can help you. It would be Dr. Rafael Sierra, I promise. Another question I have is from Jose, who's from the West Palm Beach area right here. He wants to know if there's ever any complications or infections that could arise from this type of procedure. He's nervous because he works in a ashy environment for work, and he was just concerned about infection after the procedure.
Sure. Yeah, and the answer is yes. There's always a risk of infection and complications. Remember, this is a surgery, it's a procedure, so we're doing tiny little cuts, but the risk is minimal. The risk is minimal both because these are very superficial wounds, if you will, and the second thing is that the scalp has very good blood flow that makes it very hard to get infected. So for Daniel, is that his name?
This was from, let me see, Jose.
Jose. If he wants to have it done, what I would suggest is take maybe a week off, and then after that, just wear some kind of cover, like a hat or something, to keep the dust away. But after a couple of weeks, all those little wounds are healed. So after that, there's no problem.
And besides that, we've also discussed before proper ways to protect your hair immediately after this type of procedure is maybe staying a little bit away from direct sunlight, maybe away from the beaches down here in the South Florida area, correct?
That's correct, yeah. And that's just for a few days. It takes about 7 to 9 days for those grafts to really kind of get fixed and in their new place. And through those 7 days, you don't want to stress them. So direct sunlight or swimming in pools, brushing or touching, it's really something that you do not want to do.
Those harsher type environments, I guess
Right.
you would want to stick away from. Now, one of my other questions, I thought this one was a bit interesting. We have a caller who wanted to know if depression can actually affect a hair transplant or just balding in general, if you ever see emotional distress be a factor for hair loss.
Stress is definitely a factor that can cause hair loss. And after hair transplant, again, is your hair. So some of the factors that affect usually the hair follicles will still affect those transplanted hair follicles. So in something that it's, I guess, more systemic and generalized as depression, the answer is yes. You could see some even some hair loss in those transplanted.
Now, I know we're saying to act sooner is always better. Is there a common median for the age of your clientele that comes in on your table?
I have Chris Brown on hold.
Most clients come in the maybe late 40s to 60s, but I've had patients as young as 19 years old.
As young as 19.
Yes.
Now, this is going to sound a little funny, but you will need parent consent in order to go ahead through this procedure, correct?
Yes.
That's what I would think as well. Well, I am getting notified that we have a current caller on the line that we can go ahead and buzz in. Let's go ahead and say hello to the caller we have joining us today. Hi, what's your name?
How you doing? This is Chris Brown.
Hi, Chris Brown. It's nice to hear from you today. My name is Alana, and you are talking here with Dr. Rafael Sierra on the Better Hair, Better You radio show. And I am getting word that you are a past client of Dr. Rafael Sierra, correct?
That is correct. How you
Hey,
doing,
Chris.
Dr. Sierra?
How are you?
Doing very good, thank you.
Chris, would you be able to give us a little bit of a testament? Can I go ahead and ask you, when did you receive your treatment from Dr. Rafael this past year? Do you remember around what month?
I do. I had my treatment on April 9th. Spent about 7.5 months.
And did you enjoy the effects afterwards? Do you feel that it was very successful? How did it go for you?
Yeah, absolutely. It was I'll be honest, I was a little bit nervous going into it. I didn't know really what to expect from the entire experience. I've done a little research on my own, and really just talking with Dr. Sierra kind of calmed my nerves a little bit and made me feel very comfortable about it. So we went ahead and moved forward, and the process was super easy. He has an unbelievable team and facility in place down there in Fort Lauderdale. His office is really state of the art. So it was fantastic, and getting in there and just getting a chance to talk with him and talking with his team, they made the experience for me very, very easy and smooth, and made me feel very comfortable.
That is excellent to hear. Now, we often talk about how this type of hair treatment helps people feel more confident in their own skin. Your friends, your family, your coworkers, how did they react to you receiving this type of treatment?
It was interesting. I actually purposely didn't tell anybody that I was having it done, with the exception of a couple people. One being my business partner, because he sees me every day, so he was going to know immediately. But it's funny because he is a guy who has like one of those just complete full head of hair. Kind of, you just look at the guy, you're like, that's annoying how nice the hair is. But it's great because he jokes around about how he's losing his hair all the time. So when I told him I was having this procedure done, he was super excited about it and was kind of like, you know what, this is something I'm going to look into. So I was like, come on, you have the most hair of any person I know. But ultimately, fast forward now 6 months, I didn't say anything about it since the surgery. And he mentioned it to me, it was like a week and a half ago. He was like, it was kind of straightforward, but like, just, dude, your hair is like really coming through, like it's actually working. I didn't think that stuff was legit. And so now he's sold in the experience and what it could do. And who knows, maybe in 50 years, if he ever loses his hair, he'll be a client of Dr. Sierra as well.
Well, Dr. Sierra is here and ready to help anyone. For anyone else who's listening, who's maybe contemplating getting this type of procedure, can you help put people at ease? Was there a lot of pain going through this process for you? Was it very difficult?
It's not difficult. It's not painful. The process is longer than you expect going into it. You think about hair transplant surgery, and you do a little research online, and you learn a little bit about the robotic procedure, and you're like, oh, okay, you punch out some hair follicles and place them in a different spot. So it is an all-day event. So kind of get ready and prepared for that. But other than that, Dr. Sierra is a professional. He's a doctor. He's very good at what he does. So they take the time to continue to ask you the appropriate questions throughout the procedure. How are you feeling? Is there any pain here? Do you have anything here? And really, they manage that process throughout the entire procedure. So if you are feeling any even finger prick type pain, you just tell them and they'll take care of it for you. So it's an experience, to say the least. But I would tell anybody that's looking into doing it, check your concerns at the door. It is something that when you start seeing the results, it really does. You'll just look in the mirror and say, like, it's worth it. You feel good about it. You feel more confident. You're looking at yourself and you're seeing a little bit of results, knowing, I'm only 7 months out, and they kind of tell you 8 months is where you start to really feel it and see it. And, up to a year, you'll start to really see it even more. So just knowing I'm where I'm at now, it's great to know that I'm at the early stages of that, and I'm already feeling quite good about it.
Well, that is fantastic to hear. Dr. Rafael, do you have anything you'd like to tell Chris?
No, I'm just really happy to hear that you're doing so well and that you're happy with the results. And yeah, like you said, it should get better and better for the next few months.
Well, thank you so much, Chris.
Thank you
Chris, for calling us in. Everyone, you heard it here first on Better Hair, Better You. First-hand testament that this is a procedure. You do not want to wait on it. It truly impacts your life, and we are happy to hear how it affected Chris's in any aspect. Thank you so much. So let's continue on with some more questions. Like he said, you are the professionals. When you go into your facility, it is top-notch professionalism, from the consultation to, as we just heard from Chris, months after, still checking in and hearing a great experience.
Yes.
Can you speak a little bit more about your background? I mean, what did it take to get to this point performing these surgeries? What is your medical background?
So, I went to medical school. I'm originally from Mexico. I went to medical school in Mexico City. I came to the United States. I did my specialty as a general surgeon at Tulane University. And then I've been practicing as a general surgeon specialized in robotic surgery During my residency, I did research on robotic surgery. After I graduated, I had a lot of interest into it still, and so I was one of the first surgeons trained in single incision cholecystectomy with a Da Vinci robot.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah, I know. Say 3 times. And then throughout my career, I've been really enjoying that part. And at some point, I was steered to the hair transplant world by knowing about it through friends, and also by looking at my patients that have some type of cancer and go through chemotherapy, and how much they get affected by losing the hair. And that's one of the things that to me was a little shocking, to see how much that affected their lives, even more than sometimes anything else. So that kind of got me interested, and I thought a great opportunity to apply my skills as a surgeon to another area that could continue to help people.
So it was more of the impact that you saw a need for to go towards the hair route, you would say.
Yeah.
Now, in general, I know you've done lots of robotic type surgeries though before, correct? You have an extensive background in that sense, correct?
Yes. Yeah. A
now,
lot.
Is there a specific part that you kind of have a nerdy side behind of why you love robotic surgery? I feel like, today I have a lot of friends, or, you hear about young students in high school and in middle school getting into robotics.
Well, I think it's the technology is the future for a lot of procedures. I mean, not only hair, but other procedures. And I think it's fascinating. It's like a enhancement of my skills. And if that means that my patients are going to have a better result, then why not?
I would think the accuracy of technology hand in hand alongside your compassion and professionalism is the perfect kind of pairing. I would definitely think so. So just to remind everybody, before we wrap up today's show, and thank you again to our caller, Chris, for giving some live feedback as well today, Dr. Rafael Sierra is located at 2151 East Commercial Boulevard in Suite 204 over in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Remind everyone, what is your phone number that people can reach you by?
954-776-0830.
And you can go and find them online on their website at
sierrarobotic.com.
sierrarobotic.com. You can find more information about the FUE type of surgeries they perform, his consultation fill-out form, and any information you'd like to read on further. Again, I hope everyone enjoys the last couple hours of their Cyber Monday. Remember to keep us in mind when you're holiday shopping this season. This has been Rafael Sierra and Alana Shearer with Better Hair, Better You. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.
Good night.
You have been listening to the Better Hair, Better You show with Dr. Sierra. Dr. Sierra has shared valuable inspiration and information to help restore hair growth and confidence. If you want more information, call Dr. Sierra at 954-776-0830 or visit his website at sierrarobotic.com. And tune in again next week for another valuable life improvement moment.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of